You can go to www.gofundme.com/kidney for Kiana. Movies with Metaphysical Messages with Jeremy Morrow. An esoteric examination of Hollywood films. Hello moviegoers, welcome back to another episode of Movies with Metaphysical Messages, an esoteric examination of Hollywood films. I'm your host Jeremy, the Meek Geek, and we're back on our show. This is the show for those who are new to it, who are basically, we talk about Hollywood films of yesterday and today, and we talk about the esoteric and occult messages that are in movies that are actually helping us to become more spiritually aware and ascend to a higher ability of understanding. And these are awesome movies we talk about. And we have two special guests. I'm very thrilled to have them on the show. We have Shindo. His YouTube channel is Entropy666. And Luciferian Morningstar. And her YouTube channel is Jorel7771. Welcome to the show, folks.
Thank you. We're good to be here.
It's good. Thank you. It's so good to have you here, and they have a website or a blog, the Gnostic Illuminati. Excellent. Yes, and what is the purpose of your work on YouTube and on the website? What is your goal? What is your mission, folks? In a nutshell.
Well, I think that. Even though I mean we come at this from a sort of different perspective, her and I, but our goal is to awaken people's sort of consciousness within them, what you can call the Christ consciousness, or even the Lucifer consciousness, or the Buddha nature. We're trying to get people to recognize that they don't need some outside force, some outside religion, some outside people to tell them what it is that they need to believe. These things are at a spiritual level, if you like. It's at a gut level. We're trying to get people to awaken to their own the awareness that this God is within them, not without.
You know, speaking of all this, all these fear-based religions, in regards to the Gnostics or the Luciferians, they're here to help bring knowledge, you know, the light. That's what Lucifer or Luciferian is, the light bearer.
Right. Yeah.
You can detect the actual I don't know, the force behind people who go against Gnosticism, they go against this Luciferian idea. People like Mike Dice, people like Alex Jones, all these folks out there who just have this knee-jerk reaction when it comes to anything of what they term occult. Look, occult means mystery.
Yeah,
that's all.
Or secret.
Right.
Secret knowledge.
It's a secret knowledge. And knowledge in and of itself is not evil.
Exactly.
It's what you do with that knowledge that makes it evil.
Yeah. And so, folks, we're going to discuss the movie Lucy, made in 2014. Stars Scarlett Johansson, Morgan Freeman, and Min Sik Choi. Directed by Luc Besson. I love this movie. It's basically a woman accidentally caught in a dark deal, turns the tables on her captors and transforms into a merciless warrior evolved beyond human logic. And I remember seeing this movie. Shindo and Lucifer, please tell the audience what your spiritual understanding on this movie, because I feel it's a very esoteric movie and it's a very important movie for us. So, what's your esoteric understanding of the movie Lucy, starring Scarlett Johansson?
A picture up on my real group of Lucy, and if you look at the picture carefully, you have sort of a yin-yang look to it. It's white on one side and black on the other, and that's what Shindo and I sort of represent
right,
as well.
The darkness and the light, and it's all part of our nature.
Well, for me, it really hit me deep when I first saw it. For me, Lucy represents Lucifer. She, as she grows in knowledge, she's able to overcome her fears. She ends up sharing knowledge, all this knowledge, with humanity.
The knowledge, I mean, you got this core of understanding with the word knowledge, gnosis, which, the Gnostic understanding. Absolutely, in the last few years, I would say, within the last 3 or 4 years, you have really seen an upsurgence of this Gnostic awareness in Hollywood. And you have to realize that the people who are out there who are doing this, it occurs to me just now to say this, is that even though a lot of people have a major problem with this whole Jewish Hollywood and whatnot, the same Jewish Hollywood, just like this Superman video that Lucy and I did recently.
Yeah, I love those Superman reviews.
The same Jewish Hollywood, the same Abrahamic type religion is also spawning something good.
Yes.
And that comes with this Kabbalistic / Gnostic awareness, this realization that if we have anything that's akin to what you would call salvation, that salvation comes through knowledge, and that knowledge is not something that you can attain just from reading books and from research, but that knowledge comes from an internal knowledge.
And that's why I said in the Superman movie, within the Abrahamic religions, you have the seed of truth that comes out. So there is a truth within it.
Right, and it just occurred to me to mention this whole Jew Hollywood and how these people are spawning a lot of, I think there's a lot of manipulation there, but there's also people who are really trying to get this Kabbalistic Gnostic awareness that if we can look within, we can really find the God nature inside of us.
Well, there could be a lot of Hollywood movies that people behind the movies who are actually helping us. They're not trying to keep us in dark, but they're trying to empower us.
Exactly.
I mean, look at all the superhero movies that are coming out, and all the Greek god type movies that are coming out.
Lucy is
Hercules. Like a lot of similar movies about people becoming powerful, becoming like God or God-like. And Jesus himself said, "Ye are gods," or in the Book of Psalms as well. So it's not like against the Bible. This is what the Bible teaches, that we are gods. So this isn't against the ancient ancient books.
Absolutely not. The kingdom of God is within you.
Yeah.
Within you. This Lucy is a good parallel of a sort of, it's a superhero type. I mean, she has unbelievable powers.
From the drug that's accidentally released into her bloodstream.
Right.
How would you folks examine how she like when she gets these superpowers gradually, she increases her brain power? Do you feel that we are capable of doing the things that she did? If we evolve strong enough, if we progress spiritually enough to do amazing things?
I don't know. I don't know how important that is. I think we need to look at these things more of an allegory and understand that the sort of power that she really attains is the consciousness awareness within her, where she no longer fears death. She no longer is consumed by the normal what people strive after in this life.
Yeah, she's not materialistic like she used to be. But I know she even mentioned somewhere in the movie, she says we don't really die because she had received an illumination within that death does not exist. Death is only an illusion.
Yeah, I really like that part of the movie. When Lucy and the guy was in the car.
Right.
He was driving really fast, and the guy was afraid, we're gonna die.
Yeah.
But Lucy says, there's no death.
I love that.
I think that's one of the most profound points of the movie, and from a Buddhist perspective, it was a long time ago when I read a book called Buddhism, Plain and Simple. When I read, and a lot of your listeners probably won't relate to this because we were so consumed with the sense of ourselves here in the Western culture. They don't have that in the Eastern culture. I read this book, Buddhism Plain and Simple, and I remember the moment that I read this, really my fear of death it just was gone. And that's when I read, I cannot die because I do not exist in the first place.
Wow. It's profound.
Now this is a very basic Buddhist concept. And I like that scene not just because Scarlett Johansson isn't afraid of death, but she's not afraid to kill either. Let's put this in perspective.
She's not a pacifist.
She's driving She's driving through a multitude of people. I mean, how many people could she have possibly killed?
I know, it's kind of a bloodbath there.
When she's saying there is no death, she's not just referring to herself.
Yeah.
She's referring to everyone, because there is no I, there is no death, there is only the we, there is only the us.
Yeah.
That is a basic Buddhist understanding that she conveys in one simple line. Death is we never really die.
Yeah.
I think is her exact line.
Yeah.
It's an illusion.
It's perception of ego, isn't it? Ego perceives death.
Exactly. It's a perception of ego. That we exist in the first place. I mean, there is no separation between...
Consciousness is immortal.
Right. There's no time when we were born. What I like to think, and I try to convey this to people that speak to me, and so many of them don't understand what I'm saying. But when oftentimes, people will talk about the creator. Okay, well, there's no creator. I mean, I know there's no creator because we are all part of a oneness. There's no creator of us as sentient beings. I mean, look in your past. When is it that you realized, okay, I'm alive, I exist, and I'm going to die. When is that exact moment in your past? Can you pinpoint it?
It would,
of course you can.
Yeah, it would have to be when I gained a self-awareness, when I became more educated. I didn't know that when I was a little baby.
Right. But there's no there's with most people there's no specific point in their life where they say, I'm aware.
Yeah.
I'm aware. I know I am alive, and one day I will die. The reason why you don't ever have that awareness is because you're not a created thing. You're not created by something outside of yourself. You are all part of that same energy that is a creative force, yes, but it creates a finite universe. It doesn't create it. The infinite is within you.
Yeah.
Creation, yes, creation. There is creation, but the creation that you see, that you are part of, that we live in every day, is a finite existence. It's not the same as what you are. What you are is an infinite existence, and there's no point where you were created as a sentient being. There's just no point, because you were never created. You and I and us.
Well, didn't the ancient Gnostics believe that there is something inside of us, something non-material, that cannot be created and cannot be destroyed? They call the divine spark, and that's the eternal spirit within us, and that is the part of God. That makes us all God, right? We are all part of the grand divine.
Right. I don't go out telling people that we are God's world. We are God.
That's yeah. We are we all together. We make God. That it's not about ego. It's not about I'm powerful, I'm strong, I'm smart. No, we are one. We're all connected, and I strongly believe that, because I've had synchronicity happen over time, and it's amazing how we're connected in some way. I met people, or I've talk to people, and I somehow get some kind of connection. It's like we have some kind of unconscious or subconscious connection with each other. It's because we all have some kind of spark within us that connects with each other.
Exactly.
So yeah. So any other perceptions on the movie Lucy and how she gradually evolves?
I believe you asked me asked us a question if we actually evolved to become like Lucy, where we can do all these different things. From my perspective, I believe we will evolve into that. We will be able to do a whole lot more in the time to come. But we have that power within us. We just need to know how to unlock it. Even in the Bible, the Christ said that you will do these things. You will do as I have done and more.
Exactly.
And we've got a man who, according to the traditional Christian perspective, knew that he was going to die and knew that he was going to resurrect. So therefore, if even from a Christian perspective, he's saying that we have that authority, that we have this power over death, not him. Okay.
Yeah, he didn't want people to depend on him. He wanted people to empower. He wanted to empower the Jesus Christ that is in the Bible. He actually taught people to be empowered. He didn't teach people to be dependent on him.
Right.
For salvation.
Another thing he said was that if you have faith, then you can move mountains.
Exactly.
If you look at that verse, he doesn't say if you have faith in the Father God, if you have faith in what the words I tell you, or if you have faith in me. He just says faith. That's it.
Yes.
I mean, even from a Christian perspective, you can see that we have this authority and power within us. It's given. It's not even given to us. It's something that we innately have.
Richard Vizzuti, I'm sure you're familiar with him. He talks about that scripture where Jesus talks about if you have the faith the size of mustard grain, you'll be able to move a mountain and throw it into the sea. Richard talks about how mountains can represent governments, so that
right.
that would there's a subtext there that would possibly indicate that we have the power to change the government for the better. We can change things. We can change our society, make it a better society. We have the power.
And going back to the storyline.
Yeah.
I think one of the most crucial things that we need to take from this movie, Lucy, and she has a sort of that she's like a Christ figure herself, and the most crucial thing we need to take from it is that she was willing to sacrifice herself when she was aware that she was going to die. She didn't do what most people would do. Most people would just enjoy their last few hours. They would go out, they would party, they would have fun with
indulge.
Right. But what she determined to do was to help mankind. She became a sacrifice for that. And she didn't hesitate to do it.
Yes, so it's like Jesus said that there's no greater love that a person has than to sacrifice their life in the behalf of their friends. So it's like a self-sacrificial Christ-like figure in this movie. She's like she's almost like she tries to help humanity before she dies.
Exactly, and another thing too, I noticed, you can compare it to light bearers like us. We go into the world and we help humanity, and at the same time we are condemned, we are persecuted. People don't like us, but we're trying to help humanity. We're trying to pass on that knowledge, just like the serpent in the Garden of Eden, just like the fallen angels in other texts besides the Bible.
Yeah, even the Prometheus, he gave fire to mortals, and he was punished for it, for helping humanity.
Tortured for eternity.
Yeah, by the gods.
But it's something within you that you do because you do it. You don't question it. You just do it. You don't sit back and say to yourself, why? I mean, sometimes I guess everybody feels sorry for themselves.
Yeah.
Especially, Lucy and I, we put out these videos, and there's not a day that goes by that I don't wake up in the morning, and it's so nice, being sarcastic.
Yeah.
To wake up in the morning and to have somebody condemning you as some kind of Satanist.
Yeah, ignorant people.
Nonsense.
Yeah.
I personally gave up everything that I had for this, and I'm not going to get into detail, but I gave up everything. Everything. And I don't regret it for 1 second, because, now I can see that with people like yourself and with others, that we're all a community here. We're all we're providing what we can with our perspective and with our past and our understanding, and we're all moving forward as a group, as a unit. There's no one person saying you need to do this, you need to do that. The dogma of the Christians and the Abrahamic religions in general is gone. It's gone within people like you and I and
no longer holds us down.
Those of us who have that kinship, it reverberates.
Yeah.
This understanding, this truth. We don't worry anymore about this. The dogma and the religion of the past is dying away. It's in life support right now. And they don't want to admit it.
I think the old way of looking at things, the old religions, the old disempowering. I don't know if I use the word loosely, patriarchy. I know the feminists like to use that terminology, but I do believe the Abrahamic religion, they're struggling. They're almost like they're in their death throes, and you could just see the desperation in the religion, in the oppressive religions. They're trying desperately to fight for their existence, but it's going to be a losing battle for them, because people are waking up. People are becoming more independent thinking.
I like the analogy, and I'll use it as an analogy and not as a literal thing the way the Christians do. But the analogy in Revelation, where you have this great dragon that is cast out of heaven, and when this dragon comes to earth and he realizes where he is, he goes against what even Christians would perceive as the true church. They call it Israel or whatever they want to. But first he pursues this, in the symbolism and the metaphor. First he pursues this woman.
Yes, she was pregnant.
He was taken away, and he can't get to her. So what does he do? He turns around and he pursues his own people. He is angry. It's like a man who beats his wife, but he doesn't want anyone else to have her.
Yeah.
So he will kill her rather than she be with somebody else. It is the same thing. The same thing. You can look at this dragon as being the demiurge. You can look at it as being the Jehovah Yahweh of the Christian church.
Yeah.
You can just look at it as being the Abrahamism in general. This is coming to pass. You're seeing it.
Yeah.
They are tormented so much they don't know who to fight. They get these ideas of these shadow figures, that are behind everything evil in this world, but they don't know who to fight. So what do? They turn around on themselves. You're seeing that every day.
It reminds me, going back to the movie Lucy, is he a Japanese gangster, a yakuza, but who was selling the drugs in the first place? He's chasing after Lucy all across the city, and he's causing all this wanton violence. He reminds me of, I don't know if you call it the Abrahamic religions, the churches, even Yahweh itself, how he chases after the Christ within and wants to crush it. And so he reminds me of how these churches they just have instead of focusing on teaching, the churches are not teaching about love and helping your neighbor and doing all the things that Jesus taught, right? The good things. They're teaching about condemnation and, must stop these evil occultists, must destroy them before they corrupt us. And it's, and it's like they're chasing after, they want to stamp down any kind of Gnostic awareness in people.
Well, it doesn't take much to look on YouTube to see exactly what it is that so-called Christians are watching anymore. It's all about Beyonce and other nonsense and how they're Illuminati. Who cares?
Like why is that such an important thing? Like,
what does that have to do with your religion? There's been times when I've gone on there and said, what you're supposed to be doing is feeding the poor. You're supposed to be out there helping people. This is what you're commissioned to do as Christians. Why are you doing this? This is nonsense. They're doing this because it sells, because it puts money in their pocket.
It's about big business now. Church has become a big business. It's not about illuminating the people. It's about becoming financially powerful.
Exactly.
But it seems that there is a change. People are getting fed up. I know more and more people at work who tell me that they're fed up with religion that they have. I work with a lady, a nice lady. She practices Reiki in her spare time, and she says, "I'm not religious anymore. I'm spiritual. I used to be Catholic." She says, Polish Catholic. She said, "I'm fed up with the Polish Catholic religion. I want to be. I believe in going within." She says, "I believe in healing." She mentioned how the apostles and Jesus they healed people. And yet these Christians, so-called Christians, they says, "Oh, you can't heal people. You can't use Reiki. They use demon power." Well, that reminds me how the Pharisees condemned Jesus for healing people. He says, "You healing people in the power of Beelzebub." It's exactly the same thing. How they discourage people from healing people. Yeah.
Blasphemy of the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
But we have this ability. We have the ability to heal people. I strongly believe. I'm sure Lucy can definitely relate to that because she's had spiritual experiences. I've watched her videos, but I do believe that. I'm sure you agree, Lucy, that we have the ability to heal each other. We have, if we just release that ability, we can help other people. We're not disempowered.
Oh, yeah, I totally agree.
Mhm.
And I feel like a lot of us those of us working together,
Mhm.
we are sort of in that position as Christ and these other people who are coming at us. They're like the Pharisees.
Exactly.
And we're constantly being bombarded with this, and we're trying to help them.
Yeah. Again, they're actually fighting against us, against their own interests, their own best interests. We're trying to help them awaken the divine spark within them, but they push it. They push it back in our faces when we try to help, when we try to illuminate them. So I know how you feel. It gets frustrating sometimes when you're trying to help people, but sometimes at times I say I just want to give up. I want to just do my own thing. Follow my own business. Do my own business. But then I think of the allegory of Jeremiah. There was one time he said, I want to give up. I want to stop talking about God, or whatever you want to call it. And he said it became like a fire within his bones, and it burned inside him. And I like that scripture because it reminds me of us, particularly me. I think of myself is that if I don't say something spiritual, something esoteric, or talk about some kind of strange thing that is inspiring, it becomes like a burning inside me, and I can't hold back. It's like the spirit is trying to force me to say it, to talk about it.
You can compare it to an animal that just behaves the way it does because it's instinctive in their nature. That's what it is for us. It's an instinct. It's just something that's part of who we are. We can't not do it. If we don't do it at this point, you told me yesterday something that your father had told you about. Once your mind expands, you can't deflate it. Because
he used to be a minister in the Jehovah's Witness church, and he just couldn't stand it anymore because it's so small-minded. It had its purpose. It had its for me too as well. It had its
right.
It had its purpose, but that there comes a time where you have to move on. You have to move on, and that's the small-mindedness. It doesn't work. It's like trying to have a large goldfish in a small fishbowl. You eventually have to move that goldfish into a bigger pond because your mind expands, and it's disempowering people who have small-mindedness. And, Jesus loves me. Yes, I know. So the Bible tells me so. It doesn't work anymore. Eventually, you have to move on to bigger and greater surroundings, which will allow you to have more freedom to stretch.
There's a small amount of us, a very small amount, but strength doesn't come in numbers. It comes in passion. We're passionate about what we're doing. We know that what we're doing is the right thing to do, and even though we're in the minority, doesn't mean that somehow these people who really, quite frankly, have become nothing but robots. They've become automatons. They really don't have any soul anymore.
I know.
I think I come across animals that have more soul than some of the people I come across.
My cat has more of a soul than some of these churchgoers. I have a cat, and you can see the divine spark within the animal. They have a simpler way of looking at things, but they definitely have some kind of awareness. And it's like humanity in general are very, like you say, they're not aware of their spirituality.
It's just amazing the things they say nowadays to you. I mean, I just can't imagine people saying things to you like this.
They've said things to Lucy and I that I can't even, I've never even conceived of. I mean, their interpretation of what hell is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just.
It's a cruel God that would do that.
Dante with Dante's Inferno, he didn't come up with anything as cruel and as unusual as these people come up with.
Yeah.
It's just bizarre. Where is their mind at? I really don't understand.
It's a very low vibration. These mentalities.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But I just think of Lucy in the movie, and she like you said, she's not in a great number. She's just one person, but she has divine spark within. It's like one person can make a difference. Even if we're surrounded by zombies, you could say spiritual zombies, we can make a difference. One person can make a difference. Like even Jesus says, and allegorically, wherever you have the Christ within one person or two people, I am in your midst. So we don't have to feel alone. Sometimes it feels very frightening or very discouraging when you're surrounded by numbskulls. All they want to do is hurl insults and condemnation at you. But you have that peace of God within you. You're going to be just fine, because Jesus said that do not worry when you're put in front of courts for my name, for the Christ. You do not worry, do not rehearse what you're going to say, because what you're going to say will be given to you that very hour. So and I'm sure you folks do a lot of meditating, and so you probably folks have a lot of spirit consciousness and ability to say the right thing at the right time.
I take a lot of comfort, a lot of great comfort in the knowledge that, to me and to us as Gnostics, that the Holy Spirit is female. And the reason I take comfort in that, as opposed to the Holy Spirit being male, you don't look to your Father as much as your Father is there for you. You don't look to Him generally as the comforter. When you need support and comfort, you go to your mom.
That's right.
It's just the way you...
The nurturer.
Right, the nurturer.
In Judaism, you have what is called the Shekinah.
Ah, yes. On the Ark of the Covenant, right? That was the light that was in the middle of the two cherubs?
Yes. Yes. Yeah, I mean, the Shekinah, you don't hear about that much with a lot of people today, and with the Christians, or I do hear it from time to time when I'm around Jews. They'll talk about the Shekinah, but it's very interesting.
Don't the Kabbalists believe in the feminine aspect of God?
Yes.
That's awesome.
It only makes perfect sense. And when they talk about a creative force, to me, their creative force, the way I created my children. I mean, I didn't actually actively get in there and manipulate the DNA so that they were a creative being. But they were created due to my my creating the child with their mother. I mean, that's just
combination of the male and female energies.
Right. That's what the creative force is.
Even if you look at the hexagram, I think it's called the Jewish star, as it
the Star of Solomon or Star of David.
Yeah,
it's called.
The masculine and the feminine, or the dagger and chalice, as they say in Gnosticism.
Right.
So that would make sense, because to me, they always taught in church, they hammered in, oh, God's the Father, God's your Father, and to me, it didn't make sense. How could one father create everything? It makes more sense that a father/mother created things, because male and female is like in every creature on Earth. We think of snails even. They're supposedly they don't have male females, but they do have male female reproductive systems in creature. So it's like there's a feminine and male in every, even plants have feminine and male. So why not God? It makes sense to me that there would have to be some kind of feminine and male force that creates the all existence.
Exactly.
This male force in the church is like this domineering type of father.
Yes.
Where you don't want to do anything wrong, or he's going to beat your ass. Excuse my language.
No,
he's going to beat you.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's the God that I used to worship in the old church, the Jehovah, the Yahweh. It's very, you do as I say, or watch out, or I'm going to punish you. It's like that. They say the fear of Jehovah is the beginning of wisdom, but
Right.
Fear is not a good motivator to me. What about the love? You know, and always confused me. You know, how could the Old Testament say, "Oh, fear Jehovah," and then the New Testament talks about God as love? He who does not love does not know God. So I never could understand. That's not the same God that's in the Old Testament. There seems to be a difference there.
You know, I don't know if you've heard of the 2 or 3 different voices in the Bible. You know, there's people who talk about that. You know, it's interesting. If you read in Hebrew, you get the word Elohim, and in English, you're reading the word God. The Elohim is plural. And so you have the gods. If there's a specific, then it will say maybe Yahweh Elohim. So I'm thinking maybe someone in the Elohim spoke at certain times, and then Yahweh would speak at other times.
Yes, you brought out a very good point that I just remembered. That's another thing I learned in Genesis a long time ago, is that God, it says that the Creator asked, then God said, "Let us make man in an image." That would indicate there is more than one powerful being, the Elohim.
It says, "Look, man has become like one of us."
Yes.
I believe in chapter 3, and then in chapter 8, I have my older videos about this. The Tower of Babel let us go down there and manipulate their language.
They were afraid that they were going to become powerful.
Right. So, if there's any indication, I always looked at that chapter in Genesis. I firmly believe that these things were written. They were never intended to be taken literally. The people who wrote it were intending sort of like the parables that Christ speaks in, that we are supposed to read into them so that we understand what they're really trying to tell you. And if you can't see the huge, the light bulb above your head.
I know what you mean.
Genesis chapter 8, where the God's head has to go down and manipulate their language in order for them not to be as powerful as God. What is that telling you, folks?
Yeah.
It's telling you we have that authority and power within us as long as we work and cooperate together. That's why they want us to be fighting against each other.
And who are these archons or gods? What do you want to call them? They want to disempower us. They don't want to make us. They don't want us to become to progress. They want to keep us in line. It's almost like keeping a bird in a cage, keeping the bird from flying. So they clip the wings so they don't, so the bird doesn't fly. Like, I often think about your older reviews where you talk about villains in movies, and Hollywood movies, that how actually there could be an allegorical or symbolic hint that the good guy is actually the bad guy, and the bad guy is actually the good guy. Same with the Book of Genesis. The serpent is actually the hero. And the Yahweh or the Elohim who creates the Garden of Eden in the story could actually be the bully.
Yeah.
A good example of this is in the movie Wizard of Oz.
Yes.
The newer one.
Oh yeah, I got to see that one.
It's very interesting. Maybe we'll do a review on that.
Yeah.
Later, but it's the same idea. The good witch is viewed as this evil witch when in fact she is the good witch.
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And the bad witch is manipulated by her mother. By her sister, to become evil. She doesn't intend to be, but because of her jealousy or anger, not unlike Jehovah, becomes this evil.
Well,
so yeah, there's a lot of analogy there, a lot of metaphor.
It's interesting how in the Wizard of Oz I got to see the new version too. I'm also thinking of the Dorothy version with the original 1939. How the wizard wants Dorothy to kill the Wicked Witch of the West, supposedly, for him, and eventually, and it turns out that he's just a old man hiding behind an amplifier. Big spoiler alert, but yeah, it's just thinking how they think of the Wizard of Oz as the good guy. He's not really that a noble character.
No.
He's insecure. He's an insecure person, and I often think of that.
Yeah, it's not unlike this Jehovah Yahweh.
Shindo and Lucifer Morningstar. Thanks so much for talking about the movie Lucy, starring Scarlett Johansson. I really enjoyed our discussion. Shindo, his YouTube channel is Entropy666W. Make sure to subscribe to his channel. And Lucifer Morningstar, her channel is Jor-L7771. Subscribe to her channel as well. Check out her YouTube videos. Open your mind to new thoughts. We're not asking you to believe anything, but we're asking you to open your mind and open your heart to new perceptions and to understand that there are amazing things to learn about. So check it out. And their website is thegnosticilluminati.wordpress.com, awakening the Gnostic awareness within you. And there's a great blog where they talk about their journey toward spiritual enlightenment and how that they're trying to help humanity do the same. They're trying to help benefit humanity. So check it out. Open your mind. Check out the information they have. Lucy and Shindo, thanks so much for taking the time to talk to us. Perhaps another day we can talk about another movie in the future.
It was a great conversation. A long conversation. We could all go on for hours about this, I think.
Yes, I definitely enjoy talking about Hollywood movies and the occult messages, and I really enjoy talking with you folks. You definitely have a lot of spiritual understanding. Folks on YouTube, thanks for watching. I'd appreciate it if you would like this video, add it to your favorites, leave comments below, share with your friends on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Google+, all those social media websites that you use on a daily basis. Subscribe to the Meek Geek Gab Show for the latest updates on my movie reviews. And thanks for all your comments and your questions. Leave questions, comments. Trolls will be eliminated from the comments. So if you're just here to cause problems, we won't let you on. But if you're going to ask serious questions, we welcome those. We'll welcome serious questions and intelligent conversations. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned for some more great movie reviews on the Meek Geek Gab Show. Thanks for watching the Movies with Metaphysical Messages. Movies with Metaphysical Messages with Jeremy Morrow. An esoteric examination of Hollywood films. Hello, moviegoers. I would like to personally thank you for watching Movies with Metaphysical Messages, an esoteric examination of Hollywood films. Please help support the show. Please go to www.astore.amazon.ca/movies with metaphysical messages online store-20 for the Movies with Metaphysical Messages online store, and there you will find a good selection of DVDs and Blu-rays of theater style quality movies with esoteric themes. It's a growing list of movies that I'm always adding to it, depending on the discussions I have on YouTube. So please check it out regularly for the latest updates. Buy these great titles. You can also go to a new website that I'm partnered with, and that is www.themetaphysicalexpress.com/videos-with-metaphysical-messages.html. Buy yours today. You can go to www. www.gofundme.com/kidney for Kiana.